Good morning, geeks and gamers. I might be lagging up because I'm downloading a damn 3-hour video. Started that right before we go live. Good job, Jeremy. You know how to start the show out. But in case I'm lagging up, hi Ryan, how are you?
Hi, I think you're good. I think you're good right now. But yeah, probably not the smartest decision is to start downloading like an 8 gig video.
Who the fuck are you talking
2
to?
minutes
Who the
before
fuck are you
stream.
talking to? Of course, it's not the smartest idea. It's literally that's my life motto. Probably not the smartest idea, Jeremy. Yet here we are.
It's very true.
How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing all right. We've got more. Barbie had another insane Monday, which I guess is not surprising. That's just the standard at this point. The biggest non-holiday Monday in history. The biggest non-holiday second Monday in history. So
yeah,
pretty wild.
It's crushing it. It's crushing it, and I'm following the Oppenheimer stuff. We haven't got the dailies for that, but that's still crushing it too.
You know what's wild is how fucking quickly Warner Brothers releases their box office numbers for Barbie when it's all like super positive. Like, usually we have to wait till like 11:30 or noon for all these different places to put out their box office numbers. But every morning it's like 9 or 10 in the morning. Warner Brothers fucking whips out their dick and slaps it on the table and is like, by the way, look at these numbers.
Yes.
That should tell us something. About like how strategically they decide to release this, especially when Disney takes like sometimes it'll be like for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. There was a couple days where it took till like 3 or 4 in the afternoon for Disney to let us know what the exact numbers were, which is just very, very nefarious.
Yep, that's what they do. But it's crazy watching it all play out, and I feel like Barbie's going to end up being the biggest movie of the year.
I think so.
My question is it possible? I know it's still a long shot, but it's not as a long shot as it was. Is it possible Oppenheimer gets to $1 billion?
Well, I think like the possibility is out there. I wouldn't bet on it or anything. But I think somewhere between 750 and 900 million is like where it's going to end up.
That's crazy. It could be his highest grossing non-Batman film. That is wild. 3-hour fucking rated R biopic. That's insane. Unbelievable.
Because there's not a ton of big competition throughout the rest of the summer, which again is why people are being critical of, Mission Impossible not moving their date. Because if they had backed off a couple of weeks and released the end of August or something, they could have had a good run, but they wanted to do it in the summer. And like, what do you have coming up next? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Blue Beetle and shit like that. Like, it's not like it's things that are going to be big draws at the box office.
Yeah. It's I'm just glad that there's options for people. That's really all I care about. Give the people options. It doesn't bother me that Barbie is a success. Again, I haven't seen the entire film, but it doesn't bother me. Mainly because I've got Oppenheimer, and I still enjoyed Mission Impossible, and Sound of Freedom is still crushing it. As long as people have options, man, that's all that really matters to me. I'm still looking forward to Dune Part 2. I still think that's going to be one of the best films of the year. And we will go from there. I mean, what is my favorite movie of the year so far? Probably Guardians.
Mine's definitely Mission Impossible 7. It's not.
Mine's probably Guardians. Guardians 3 is probably my favorite film of the year. I mean, technically, I guess you could like Sound of Freedom is not something I would call my favorite.
Not Mario.
No, I mean I liked Mario, but Mario didn't hit the level of like Toy Story or some shit. Like a lot of people think, I was one of them. I was like, if Mario hits that level, Mario wasn't that good. It was good. It was really good. It was a solid movie. It did what it needed to do. It was a good 7.5, 8 out of 10 movie. You know what I mean? That's what it was. But I couldn't call it my favorite movie of the year or anything like that. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and it did what it needed to do for sure. But we got Brock dropping 20 gifted memberships already. Brock, I missed you last night on CobraCast, but we didn't miss you on Saturday. Does anybody know how many gifted memberships Brock dropped on CobraCast on Saturday? Anybody want to take a guess on that one?
220.
Like 450.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you dying, Brock?
Brock was like, it was like 450 or something like that. It was crazy.
That's
What's
always
his
my
name?
first guess. When I ever see something wild like that, I'm like, oh, this guy's clearly dying and is giving away all his money. Something.
No, Brock was like, what was he was dropping some bombs, so it was crazy.
Brock
Yeah,
dropped a bunch on my stream on Sunday as well. So shout out to Brock.
Brock's awesome. So, Taker says let's see, the Scrolls were doing blackface. Shame on Disney. Bruce Flash in the house. Jay's fulfillment mostly done. Eric started yesterday. Smells like winning for our corner. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's only the beginning. Only the beginning. And I can't wait for everybody to see what everyone has plans. There's a lot of people in our space are creating and providing stuff for the people. That's what it's all about. Lord Baratheon says thoughts on Loki season 2 trailer. I have not watched it. I don't give a shit.
I watched it. They didn't reveal too much, honestly. I didn't think it was a great trailer. Loki is the one series for Marvel on Disney Plus that seems to have like broken through in terms of like it actually did get like legitimate good ratings. Like far and away, like a million more viewers in those first couple days than these other shows had or households. And I think season 2 is going to be a big indictment on how people feel about Marvel now versus when they did when that first season released. If they like, I could realistically seeing that number for Loki season 2, I could see it dropping by 1 million. I could see it dropping by like about half because it was 2.5 million households tuned in for those first 4 days of Loki. Far and away the top thing that they've had on Disney Plus for Marvel. If that number gets cut in half, which I could see happening, that's really going to tell us where the temperature is in the room in terms of like for the excitement for the MCU. We see things here and there, but that'd be a direct comparison. Loki season 1 to Loki season 2.
Yep. Well, and before I say that, and I forgot, not forgot, but I saw it in the beginning, but the Shockmaster dropped 5 gifted memberships as well. So thank you to the Shockmaster. Appreciate you, buddy. I mean, Tom Hiddleston as Loki is a massive draw, and it just continues to frustrate you. It frustrates us as fans when you have a guy that everyone loves in the role. I'll never forget the Comic-Con where he came out there as Loki, and gave that speech, and the fans went crazy. This was years and years and years ago. And yeah, I got you, Shockmaster. I got you, buddy. I got you. And now it's just like, they have just butchered this character in this universe so much. I'm even seeing a lot of the normie YouTube channels that cover Marvel in the most glorious way possible. Even they're kind of shitting on Marvel at this point in time. You can't ignore it, man. It's bad. It's really bad. And Loki season 2, I think, is going to go in with hardly any enthusiasm after what they did with season 1.
Yeah, I think that probably, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later when it comes to Secret Invasion, them going back and undoing some of what people thought were kind of the best things or the best moments from early on in the MCU. So Loki has this character arc, which a lot of people really appreciated. And yeah, you got the fake out death, but at the end, what he does when he tries to stand up to Thanos and betray him to save his brother and ends up, paying the ultimate price, he's not coming back from that one. You get to see this conclusion of this really nuanced character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What Loki does is completely destroys that. This version of Loki did not go through all of those things. He did not make all these decisions. He did not make this choice to, do the right thing at the end for his brother, who he does really love. No, this is a Loki who was in, basically in cuffs at the end of the first Avengers movie. And from that point on, he gets a Cliff Notes version of his life. It's not the same character. So you're really destroying and doing damage to something that a lot of people held in such high esteem. That's one of the problems that Marvel's now facing, is when they go back and try to retroactively make these things important. It's something that Star Wars has been dealing with now as well. Like in a different way. Star Wars has been dealing with that too, with the decisions that they make in order to make a splash or get people to gasp or whatever, that at the end of the day actually do damage to what came before it. So now when you're rewatching these things, like, oh, well, fuck, that didn't happen. Oh, well, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, that, I guess that didn't mean anything at the end of the day. Like, That's the problem with both these franchises in a big way.
Yeah, I agree completely. Look at here. Zed says, ask John Campy on Q&A who Ryan Kendall is, and he said, never heard of him.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
He's referenced enough of my videos and, you know, sent me a super chat and argued with me in my own chat. But yeah, doesn't know who I am. Yeah, there you go.
No bashy washy. This is a respectable stream, okay? Cobra Cast is where the degeneracy happens, okay? Let's see. Dragon Dan says, so mad I fell asleep halfway through Cobra Cast last night. Second half was wild. RIP East Coast Central users. Bring on Neon as a guest. Man, I fucking love Neon. Neon's one of my favorite people on the internet. Breets is still scarring me from Cobra Cast at LOL. Conspiracy of the day, Oppenheimer was likely a part of Roswell UFO analysis team, worked with Dr. Sarbacher. Sarbacher, is that how you say that? Reverse engineering tech. I mean, Lost Tales is on top of all the conspiracy theories, so Lost Tales knows what's going on. Zinni Biscuit, haven't gone to the theater much this year. Love it. Or much in years. Love it. Can't wait for Meg 2 and Napoleon. I love the first Meg film, so I'm looking forward to the next one. I think it just looks like dumb fun. Can't wait.
It's like so stupid.
I like it. I like it. Audrey CR, member message. Did you know Pee Wee Herman left Hollywood?
That's true.
Did he get busted for CP?
I don't know.
That's what they were telling me last night. And I'm like,
I think there was a story out there, but I have no idea if it was like legit or something that was made up or whatever. Yeah, let's look.
Yeah, I that's what like my chat was like telling me about that. I'm like, I had never heard that, but I had never heard that at all. But people were like saying that he did, and I'm like, I haven't heard that. And that's a serious accusation, so it's not something that should be just thrown around there. It's something that happened.
Like I remember a story regarding that, but I don't think there was any like arrests or anything like that. I think it was just like a story that was out there.
Okay.
Let's see.
I know he got caught in an adult movie theater. I know that story.
Yeah, it was like in the early 90s. Yeah.
But yeah, I had multiple people saying don't mourn his death. And I was like, I have never heard this. So if that's the case, I'd like to know more about that. But that's not something you should just throw around at all. So it doesn't seem like there's a lot of like data out there to support that.
Yes. So, all right. Here we go. In 2002, he was charged with possessing images that were initially characterized as CP. That description changed because they were basically like super old, like decades old stuff that was like kind of art or whatever. They seized boxes of materials that his spokesperson characterized as vintage erotica. Let's see. The handful of images came from more than 10,000 vintage magazines seized from the actor's home, which were like decades old. The charges were dropped in 2004, and he pled guilty to a lesser obscenity charge. So I don't know exactly what it is, but there you go.
There you go. So
whatever that means.
Yeah. And so that's
I don't particularly have any love or care, to be honest. Like that announcement yesterday had absolutely no effect on my life. I have no like. I have no.
I watched
hate in my heart for that dude. So
I watched the Pee Wee Herman movies growing up. It was iconic. When I was growing up, and Pee Wee Herman was a big deal, and so yeah, that was. I just didn't know he had been battling cancer, but 6 years. So anyway, R.I.P. for sure. Let's see.
Unless he actually did some of that shit, then I don't care how he rests. But
yeah, that's true.
Whatever.
That is true. Jay's Greasy Wiggler says Breeze tweets lives matter, probably mean feet. Cobra Cast has left me scarred and deformed. Hail 199. Yeah, it was pretty rough. But you guys, you asked for it. So what do you want me to do? It's not my fault. General Duality says, Hail 199. I should be getting my ISOM 2 comics today. So hyped. Picasso says, Hail 199. The other Steve with the strike for cover. If you were DC, would you unduck? Let's see. Would you unduck, probably unfuck your future lineup to make money? I mean, if I was DC, I mean, I guess I would kind of be doing what they're doing. I'd definitely be moving in a new direction. And so I think that ideally in theory, they're doing the right things. Creatively, will that ultimately work out? I don't know, but they're doing the right stuff initially.
Yeah, like if somebody asked me how do you fix a DC universe, I would probably do exactly what they're doing. I would make some different choices, maybe in terms of the characters I would start with, and like, but in general, at this point, with everything they've done, with how many hands are in the cookie jar and have been changing things, you probably do just need a start fresh. Now, the problems come in when you have 4 movies that like still needed to be released during this time period where you've announced a full reboot, and the damage that maybe that's done to its potential box office future. As much money as Barbie is going to make for Warner Brothers, in all likelihood, it's not going to offset all the losses from the last 4 entries in the DC universe.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
which
very,
is pretty
very
wild.
bad. All right, what's our first topic of the day, Ryan?
We might as well talk about the Marvel stuff that we just brought up, because Secret Invasion, when it started off, the first couple episodes, people were not interested in it. They didn't tune in. One of the worst rated audience-wise of anything that Marvel's done on the Disney Plus streaming service. But people thought it's just going to be another Disney Plus series that comes and goes and nothing important is going to happen, until that finale where they decided to fuck up things as much as they possibly could. And virtually everyone on every corner of the internet or criticism or anything is slamming Secret Invasion for the way that it ended. Between Gaia getting every superpower known to man, between Rhodey's reveal, not just as a Skrull, but the fact that he's been a Skrull since Civil War, which then has completely fucked up a lot of things that we've seen happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It makes no sense to retroactively go back and do that, which means this Rhodey didn't do all these things. He also didn't see Tony die. He doesn't even know that Tony's dead, to be honest with you. And all of these emotional things you saw him go through mean absolutely nothing. Oh, by the way, not only was he a Skrull, it was a female Skrull. They decided to gender swap him for years and years as well. And now we're finding out that Kevin Feige is really the one that is most responsible for all this stuff. We know he's involved. We know he makes the decisions. But the showrunner for the series just came out and said, yeah, this massive fight, it was all Kevin Feige's idea. He told us what we had to do. He told us all superpowers were on the table. And this is what they ended up with the Gaia Super Skrull fight at the end of this thing. The audience, the critics, everyone is turned on this series, and it's a complete nightmare for them.
Yeah, everything that we have been saying about Marvel has happened. All of the people that said, "Oh, you guys are just, haters or clickbaiting and all of that." Now, again, we're always ahead of the curve. Always. Like, I am not telling you that Barbie is anything other than a success, because that's what it is. When Marvel is going in this direction, we're just telling you what has happened. And now all the mainstream outlets, the same mainstream outlets that were calling us toxic and racist for calling Marvel out for what they were doing, are now repeating everything that we have been saying, because they're lying, they're full of shit, and we are always ahead of the curve on this. If Marvel was to correct course, we would have told you, hey, they're doing good things, just like Guardians. I didn't tell you Marvel was correcting course. I said that movie was in isolation was really fucking good, and it really had nothing to do with the MCU overall. It really didn't. It really didn't tie to it. They've been moving in this direction for a while, and now, again, as I said earlier, even some of the normie YouTube channels that will just eat up Marvel and Disney stuff all day long, even they've turned on Secret Invasion right now. This is catastrophic. And they have done significant damage to the brand of Marvel. And I don't know how they can come back from this under the current regime that they have. I really don't see it. Do you see a path forward for them right now?
I mean, they could use one of these multiverse things to do a full reboot. They could use the Deadpool movie to kill off the current existing Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know what they could do is if they wanted to go, because it's obviously going to be a meme. It's going to be a joke, right? They're going to be shitting on multiverse stuff. If in the Deadpool movie they decide that they actually need to course correct, they kill off the current iteration of Marvel and basically in that introduce the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, and you start the like you basically reboot the MCU with those two teams of superheroes moving forward. I guess maybe you could fix it. There's no way they're doing that.
No, they're not.
At least in my mind, there's no way that they're going to do something like that. That could be your out. That could be a funny, cheeky way of doing it. Deadpool kills the MCU and you move forward. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there is a realistic way, or I guess not even realistic. There's a hypothetical way they could do it. There's not a realistic way they would do it because they are so tied to the social justice propaganda and the identity politics and the people so it's not just about the narrative that they're pushing. It's about the people they've hired too. You know what I mean? And they can't there ain't going to be no Elon Musk firing 90% of Twitter scenario that's going to happen. It's not like Marvel Disney's going to do that. Now you have seen Bob Iger's bringing in, Tom Staggs, and who's the other guy he brought in? He's brought in these former kind of executives, which signals that Disney's in really bad shape. And what's really going to be funny is Bob Iger going to bring Michael Eisner back into the equation? Because that would be funny. That would be hilarious if you brought Michael Eisner. Michael Eisner might be the only person that could actually save Disney right now. Michael Eisner, Disney was going through a lot of bad times back then, and then he came up with the Disney Decade. They opened up new theme parks. They went back to the basics with the animation. Pretty much saved the company, is what Eisner did. And now, now you look and see what shape they're in. But yes, Marvel moving forward, I don't see a path forward for them. It's just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. And there's no stopping it right now. Realistically, there's no stopping it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to change course anytime soon when it comes to Marvel Cinematic Universe. But now you've retroactively gone back and ruined stuff that people do enjoy when it comes to Rhodey. You've now created another, like the most powerful character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just came up out of nowhere with Gaia. Like absolutely nowhere. You've introduced this character that you can't ignore now. You have to acknowledge what you've just done by creating this person. It's just wild.
It is a complete and total disaster. And I, for one, am okay with that. So, all right, let's get some more soups. Where did I leave off? I think right there. Let's see. Incoherent Turd says, top stories today. Barbie makes $6 gazillion dollars, however you meant to say that. In unrelated news, half of the world has IQ below average. More at 11. I mean, at the end of the day, like the same people, like Oppenheimer's not a movie that would be something you would say low IQ people are checking out, and it's crushing it. At the end of the day, Barbie's crushing it, man. The marketing campaign was phenomenal. The aesthetic of it was phenomenal. Margot Robbie's super hot. The chicks love Ryan Gosling. People are happy. I have no problem with people being happy about something. Go out there and support it if you want to. I haven't, but other people have.
Like, the reality is, if there was a movie out there that if you reverse the roles of the men and the women, and it was like a super pro male message, the media would probably be attacking it and be slandering it as, oh, I can't believe this. Look at what they're promoting. You know what? All of us would be saying, we'd be defending the hell out of it. We'd be saying, I love the fact that there's a movie out there that is so pro-masculinity. It's not anti-woman. We need more shit like this for men. We need more stuff geared for... That's the truth. And that's what a lot of people still are refusing to admit, and that's fine. The same people that said it was going to have a 70 or 75% drop and were completely wrong, they can continue to deny that all they want. But at the end of the day, Barbie is going to be a massive, massive success.
Yeah, what I don't want to do is give people false sense of hope or something. And so when you see the writing on the wall, like Barbie never showed signs of slowing down, ever. It never showed signs that once you saw the opening weekend and you saw like the audience scores are still relatively high. I haven't looked at it in a few days, but The audience scores are still pretty damn high.
The verified is around like 85 and the unverified is around like 75 or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, audience scores are still really good. Momentum is still very positive for it. It's not going to slow down. And that's just it is what it is. All I can tell you is what's happening or what I think is happening. And that's the difference in us versus a lot of the shill outlets that they'll lie about what's going on essentially. But you know, at the end of the day, we've always had like the Transformers movies made $1 billion. That was just dumb fun. There's nothing wrong with dumb fun.
Yeah, and I uploaded a video last night that was clipped from my stream about, you know, Mission Impossible is basically a failure at the box office, you know, while Sound of Freedom is really eaten into, I think, a lot of its core audience. And there was like a comment, it's like, I don't understand why we're celebrating the failure of Mission Impossible. It's like, I'm not fucking celebrating the failure. I'm acknowledging the truth, right? Like, even though I like Mission Impossible, I love Mission Impossible. It's probably my favorite movie of the year so far. I have to be real and describe what's happening. And some people can't handle that, I guess.
Yeah. It is what it is. Cowboy One says, play Bree's feet video for Ryan. No, this is a respectable show. Okay, this is a respectable show. We are not going to take it to that place. Not enough super chats anyway. So there's no such thing as a misdemeanor CP charge. So it's fake news. Fake news.
Yeah, so Ryan West for $10 sent a super chat that says, none of it was CP. A lot of it had to do with police attempting to create a connection between Pee-wee and Jeffrey Jones, but that was proven false, and Pee-wee was innocent of all that BS. Oh, there you go. That's his response.
Yes, this is a respectable show compared to Cobra Cast. Yes, this is a respectable show. Ryan's here, the Chief Diversity, Inclusion, and Representation Officer, Friday Night Tights. We have to behave over here. East Coast Toaster Boy says, too bad Jeremy's busy today. Had a great idea for Cobra Cast with Twitter X today, but hopefully we can still show Mark Hamill, the camel. He ain't it. Yeah, I'll be tweeting more today, just for Mark Hamill's sake. So for those that don't know, Mark Hamill, again, and I've said this on Cobra Cast last night, you may like the fact that he was Luke Skywalker. You may like the fact that he was a Joker. He's an objectively terrible human being. Mark Hamill is a bad person, probably one of the worst people in Hollywood. And he has been that way for a long time. And we can romanticize about the fact that he was our, you know, favorite fake fictional character. That's fine. He still is a terrible person. And but recently, the last few days, he's been pushing this. I guess they're going to try to the old blue check marks are going to try to boycott Twitter today, because they think by tweeting less in one day that's going to hurt Elon or something like that. That's how deranged and out of touch with reality these freaks are. So I decided, well, I'll just tweet more then, if that's the case. I legitimately have zero respect for Mark Hamill as a human being. I have zero respect for him. He's not even that great of an actor, which is why he never became Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford actually was a real actor, a legitimate superstar. Mark Hamill was never really he's basically Chris Evans. He's Chris Evans if Chris Evans was just stayed Captain America for 30 years. That's essentially who he is. Not a real movie star. So he's not even a good actor. Yeah, let's be real. He's not, Joe. He's a terrible actor in reality. Ryan said he's going to tweet more today. I saw Ryan tweeting too. So
yeah, what a fucking retard. Like, you know what the funny thing is? The fact that all these celebrities were just so pissed when Elon Musk took over, including Mark Hamill, and they have to designate a day to not be on the site because they can't give it up. And you also know there's no way he's not going to be on. He's going to be scrolling. He's going to be like looking at stuff, and he's going to be like trying not to tweet, which is wild to me.
Yeah, I know.
I need to actually tweet more, so it's a good reminder. I think in the month of June or July, I sent like 19 or 20 tweets. That was it. That's all I tweeted. I almost never do it. So maybe that's a reminder I need to tweet more.
I mean, yeah, I don't tweet that much. Like, I don't tweet a lot, but yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, Ron Perlman's exit of Twitter lasted all until Twitter went away, and then he came back and said something about X.
Threads lost like 80% of their user base. So Threads sucks. It really does.
It was never really like this big thing. It was people that got a notification on Instagram to be like, hey, creating thing. And they're like, okay, I might as well do it. At least like register my handle or whatever. And they created a Threads, but that was it. Like, it's not like people were very active or using it a lot. It was just a new thing that got put out on something that already has a massive, user base.
Mm-hmm.
So, Garfield's Bizarre Adventure for 10. G&G's slogan is 199. Replace a 9 and a 1 and reverse the order. It says 911. G&G fans are asking for help because they're trapped in Jeremy's basement. Illuminati confirmed. I wish we had basements in Florida.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many. Brock, channel member for a month. I saw the Breets finally won this morning. Gross.
The Breets won last night. It was a tough battle. Alec Baldwin's finger tried. Alec Baldwin's finger saved it quite a few times now. Almost saved it last night, but Luddy came through, and we got the Breets. The Breets won last night, so it's sad night.
Zenny Biscuit for 5. Oh, we said that one. Picasso, member for 2 months. Hail 199. Thank you. JB, member for 2 months, says hello. Hello. Revan R, member for a month. DC cartoons are greater than the live action movies. I really enjoy a lot of the DC animated universe.
Yeah.
Guts the Black Swordsman, member for 2 months. Your favorite Splinter Cell game and why? Also, may I ask why you two don't do Geeks and Gamers daily on the weekends?
Mainly, yeah, we have to have some time to kind of rest and recoup from the week. Plus, I mean, it's not just Geeks and Gamers Daily that we do. So Ryan's putting out 5-6 videos a day just on his main channel, and he's doing Sports Wars. I'm handling all this other stuff, all these streams I'm doing, and so the weekends are kind of just to get a little bit of R&R, I guess. So,
yeah, exactly. Joe Carver, member for a month. Ryan has earned 10 new controllers. Get back on Mario Kart Monday, right? Meow. 10 new controllers. I think, didn't I break the first time?
Yes.
I broke it. So
yes,
one of the bumpers doesn't work.
That's what Ryan does. We got this one too. I also heard some gossip at San Diego Comic-Con. Michelle Pfeiffer and Evangeline Lilly had major beef. It's so bad. Kevin Feige is going to reboot Phase 4. Heard anything about that?
A reboot Phase 4, the one that's already over.
I meant the Michelle Pfeiffer, Evangeline Lilly. I haven't heard anything about that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, with Evangeline Lilly's, crazy opinions that so many people also share in normal world. I wouldn't be surprised if they got into a little back and forth or something, but those actors are, in my opinion, those actresses are way too minor in the entire, like, what's going on with Marvel. It wouldn't be a big deal.
Master Austin.
It's not like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans or something.
Yeah.
Like in the height of the MCU, we're like, oh, they can't work together.
Yeah. Master Austin for 50 says, you guys are awesome. Looking forward to Tuesday night's main event tonight. Hail the 199. Thank you, Master Austin.
I like Master Austin's profile. It's the M and the A, but like he actually put some effort into that design. It's pretty good.
Oh, look at there, Ryan. Ryan's noting. He's bringing it back. He's bringing back the discussion about the Alphabet Alliance. And the Avatar Army.
Imagine just having like a random M with a fucking orange background,
like Mage Demon.
Right?
We love Mage Demon.
I haven't seen him.
Mage Demon, when Mage Demon shows up, Mage Demon is heard very loud. Axel Jen says, glad I only listened to Cobra Cast last night. My wife and daughter forced me to see Barbie. This movie is awful. 2 hours of characters complaining left and right. Worst movie, says Ghostbusters 2016. That's another movie I never saw. I never saw Ghostbusters 2016. Never saw it. Did you ever see Ghostbusters 2016?
I did. I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it like a couple years after or whatever.
Okay.
Again, the difference between Barbie and all these other things are, you're talking about Ghostbusters, which for the most part was like a male fan base, right?
Yes.
And then you completely flip the switch and you completely go against everything and alienate your core audience. It's not what Barbie did at all. Like, it's the opposite. Like, they catered to the core audience.
Yeah, I never will see Ghostbusters 2016. I guess I probably will eventually watch Barbie at some point in time. I don't know. Oh, by the way, Ryan, I've watched the first half of Idiocracy.
Okay.
I got to the point where Terry Crews shows up as president.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. It's so good. That movie's like it was way ahead of its time. It was way ahead of its time. And all I was thinking of when Terry Crews shows up was Big Mike. I was like, holy shit, Big Mike is president.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be like a look into the future.
I know.
It was supposed to be a joke.
I know.
But it's turned into just a slight parody of current life.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But yes, it's I'll finish it before Cobra Cast on Wednesday, and I'll give everybody my feedback on it. So shout out to you guys. So Stephen Wasick for 20. It's sad that Mark Hamill is such a pathetic psycho. He was a VA in one of my favorite Ghibli movies, Castle in the Sky, in addition to it being funded by and distributed by Disney. Also would say Robert Downey Jr. and Simu Liu are not movie stars. I would disagree on the Robert Downey Jr. one. No, there's Simu Liu's not, but Robert Downey Jr.
They don't even belong in the same sentence.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
is in like two things.
Robert Downey Jr. is 100% a movie star, like 100%. Now he's not as. I think that he gets that people have a bigger
Marvel
view
elevated
of him.
him in a big way.
Yes, you know? I would say before, like he is. Iron Man made him seem like he's a bigger star than he is. But he's not the star that maybe a lot of people perceive him because of Iron Man. As Iron Man, that's gold. Without Iron Man, he's not the draw that even a Chris Pratt is or anything like that. But I would say he definitely is a star. He's a star for sure. He's not as big. He's not as big as people that perceive him though.
Yeah, I don't think that just because Robert Downey Jr. gets attached to a movie that all of a sudden like there's only a couple of guys like that, to be honest, right now. You know what I mean? We've talked about that before. Robert Downey Jr. not in that category, but he's definitely a movie star. And God, I want another Sherlock Holmes movie so bad. I liked the first one. I fucking hated the second one. I've been waiting for a third one from him and Jude. What's his fucking name? Forever. And
Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude Law. Hopefully that finally happens. It sounds like it's actually going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, hang on. I'll show you this really quick.
The introduction of Moriarty for people that aren't like big Sherlock Holmes fans, like whatever, you might not have been super offensive to you. For Moriarty, who is such like a kind of a long running and such an important character in all the Sherlock Holmes stories, for them to accelerate that timetable to them going over the waterfall to the end of the second movie was fucking insane. And for them to reveal immediately that, you know, he's still alive, or that, you know, Robert Downey Jr. is still alive, I fucking hated it. I just absolutely hated it. You could have made that so much better and drawn that out a little bit longer and made him part of at least the third movie. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. I will say it's just like bring it. I guess I can see where Steven's coming from though on the Robert Downey Jr. thing. I can't understand where he's coming from. I just think bringing Simu Liu into it to help push the point, that's a whole different level. Simu Liu is legit. He's not even a star. Like nobody, if Simu Liu could walk down the street, nobody know who the fuck he is. You know what I mean? You just wouldn't know who he is. Maybe after
literally Barbie, a stock image Asian.
Yeah, he's a nobody.
There's a billion people in the world that look just like him.
Now, Robert Downey Jr., like if that dude walks down the street, he's gonna get mobbed.
Robert Downey Jr. is a movie star. He is not. He's not one of these like top 5 superstars.
He's not a megastar. He's not a megastar. Yeah. So, and yeah, he doesn't carry. His name alone doesn't carry movies. I will say. He in Oppenheimer, he kind of stole the show. I mean, Cillian Murphy also crushed it, but
he was great.
Robert Downey Jr. was phenomenal in Oppenheimer, like absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he was really good. Simu Liu was good in Barbie, you know, for what he was asked to do. But that's like a Simu Liu role right there. He's not a Marvel he's not like some Marvel superstar.
Who's the megastars? Tom Cruise. Put Chris Pratt on that in that sphere. Brad Pitt to some extent is for sure.
I think you put Denzel in there.
Denzel is in there. Denzel's a megastar.
Now that doesn't mean that these guys are never going to do any they're never going to a movie that flops.
Even Tom Cruise has had movies. Take Mission Impossible out of the equation. I know it, but like, even Tom Cruise has done lower level movies that went under the radar. Even after he became Tom Cruise. Like, what was that? What was that movie? There was a movie, a political movie that Cruise had years and years ago that just went way under the radar. Also, didn't he do like the Mummy
Vanilla
thing?
Sky.
No. But didn't he do the Mummy that went kind of...
The Mummy, they did try to start that whole franchise with him. That didn't work out.
Yeah. So, Leonardo DiCaprio is easily a mega star.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to find this Tom Cruise movie now. It's because it was
4th of July.
No. This one went way under the radar. Way under the radar. It had a bunch of like Oscar bait actors in it. God damn it! What's the name?
They need to do Tropic Thunder 2. That would be, Tom Cruise starring in Tropic Thunder 2 with Robert Downey Jr.
Lions for Lambs. Yes, Lions for Lambs.
Oh,
you probably never heard of it.
I never saw it.
I want to know what that did at the box office. Lions for Lambs probably didn't do shit at the box office.
The Firm, that was a great one. I mean, that's a long time ago though. That's like 90s Tom Cruise, right? When he did The Firm, which is a great book, by the way. So
Lions for Lambs did $63 million worldwide. It had Tom Cruise, Meryl Streep, and Robert Redford in it.
It was like an Oscar bait movie.
I think so. I never saw it. I just remember it came out and it was just like no one saw it. No one. I don't even know if it was like well received. I have no idea.
All right. Where are we here? Richard Waring for 5. How could either one kill and defeat the other if they both had Deadpool's DNA? Well, they wouldn't have. They don't have Deadpool's DNA, first of all, if you're talking about Secret Invasion. Because Deadpool's not been introduced or whatever in the MCU, blah, blah, blah. We have no idea how that's going to work. But all the known superheroes and villains they had, which means they had the healing thing was the Extremis stuff that we saw in Iron Man 3. Now, that guy got killed with a big enough blast to the midsection that he died. I don't really understand why. I don't know why it doesn't heal you from that, but it heals you from like a bullet to the head. There's really no explanation, but yeah, it wasn't Deadpool's DNA. Slayer 96 for 2. Goody Bud mid-fall weed comedy when I get back home. There you go, Slayer. Lily Ramsey for 2. Have you seen The Great White Hype?
Back in the day, I saw that. It's a boxing movie, right? Pretty sure it's a boxing movie. I don't remember it really, but yeah, I've seen it.
Jay Tapia for 199. Iron Man is Robert Downey Jr., not the other way around. Yeah, I mean, they changed everything about the character when Robert Downey Jr. started playing him. Slayer 96 for 2. Goody Bud Weed comedy mid-fall. Stay tuned. We're staying tuned, Slayer. Jason Fox from 540 Studios for 9 Norwegian. Thank you. Jay's Greasy Wiggler for 199. I met Teets. No desire to see her claws again. Italian Stallion for 5. Eyes Wide Shut is Cruise's best film. Might as well be a documentary at this point. If you know, you know. Stanley Kubrick was killed because of it. I like a lot of Tom Cruise stuff. Minority Report is probably one of my favorite.
Is so fucking good.
I feel like underrated movie when you look at like that was when Colin Farrell was starting to get big. Like in that time, it was probably 2001, 2002.
Colin Farrell was in every movie for like 3 years, dude. He was in every fucking top tier movie for 3 years. It was crazy.
What was he? He was in some movie with
Al Pacino.
That's really fucking good. The Knock List and everything. A CIA movie.
Yeah. Trying to remember it now. The chat's going to tell us here in just a second.
That was probably a mid 2000s movie. That was really good. That I really enjoyed.
Yep.
But yeah,
the
Minority
Recruit. The Recruit.
That's it. Yeah. I wish we could go back to the mid 2000s era. I felt like there were so many awesome movies during that time that I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it's because I was, just getting really into it then and started watching a lot of shit. I used to remember when Best Buy would have the sales of old DVDs that they were like downsizing. They'd have
Yes.
like 3 for $10 deals.
Yes.
Man, I still have all these DVDs sitting
Mm-hmm.
like at my parents' house somewhere that I like left there that I haven't gotten like over a decade. But oh
Dude,
my god, I used to have so many DVDs.
I'll never forget. And I've told this story before on live streams, but like my buddy got a DVD player and he bought The Matrix, and he was like, bro, you gotta come over.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, I got The Matrix on DVD, and like for me it was like like I was just I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is the future. It's never gonna look better than what we're about to witness right now. We have peaked as a civilization. I am going to watch The Matrix on DVD. What was the other one? The thing that HD.
I had HD DVD before, like with Blu-ray, like them in Blu-ray. I bought a laptop that had an HD DVD drive back when there was like this battle going on, and I had one HD DVD. It was the Bourne
Supremacy,
Ultimatum, I think, like the Bourne Supremacy, whichever one was the second one. I had that. That's the one HD DVD I had. But the Matrix, thinking of the Matrix, like that reminds me of, for some reason, like just thinking of watching The Matrix on DVD brings me back to my buddy's house where we would like, spend the night at your buddy's house and play GoldenEye and watch The Matrix.
Yes.
That's what that just like immediately drives into my fucking skull.
Pizza, Mountain Dew, GoldenEye, and The Matrix. Yes. That's it right there, man. That's all you needed. That's all you needed right there. Man. Nothing else in life mattered. Nothing else in life.
Days.
Yes.
Those are the days.
Oh man, but yeah,
anyway, Frank Gore.
I thought it was just. I thought we had peaked though. I was like, there's never going to be anything that looks better than The Matrix on freaking DVD.
That was wild, and that's again something that is lost now with current entertainment, because you used to have these things that came out, maybe went a little bit under the radar, theatrical releases, and then became these, massive classics through DVD sales. Mm-hmm. And through those DVD sales, people you could see there's this tangible value, and it could actually like start something. You have a sequel or whatever from it. Nobody's selling DVDs anymore. Even the big Disney's not even going to release physical media in Australia anymore. They just made that big announcement.
It's crazy.
So they're getting nothing from that, and it's all shifted to streaming. So you could certainly have these things that are end up being streaming hits or whatever, but that's not exactly evidence that people are going to pay for something. Like it's part of their plan anyway. So I don't know. That's kind of eliminated that kind of cult, like that cult classic that comes to become something more from our current entertainment.
Yeah, like something like Clerks. The first Clerks movie was kind of a VHS kind of phenomenon, DVD phenomenon type of thing. American Psycho is another one that I feel like really picked up on DVD. And
do you remember Circuit City?
Yes, of course, of course.
Yeah. The Circuit City days.
Yes, of course. Circuit City had a cool kind of look to it too. Like it looked futuristic, you know what I mean? It just looked cool when you would go in there. And yeah, no more Circuit Cities anymore. Sad.
Yeah. Those are the days. Anyway, we're gonna get sad. So let's talk about something funny. The Lando writer who complained that he was too black and too gay for Star Wars, who got fired by a news article. Let's talk about that.
God, we've fallen so far. We've fallen so far.
From Circuit City to this. Can't believe it. But it wasn't that long ago, just a few weeks, there were a bunch of news articles about the writer for the Lando series saying, you know what, I haven't heard anything from Lucasfilm in forever. And people really started questioning, is this series ever going to happen? Is it going to be yet another Disney Star Wars failure, a Disney Star Wars project that gets announced, and there's a bunch of pomp and circumstance, and all these people are hired, that eventually just goes nowhere? Well, how quickly things have changed, because Justin Simeon, the writer for Lando, the guy that was hired for this, he gave this big interview where he complained. Not only did he say, I haven't heard from Lucasfilm, but then he said, you know what? I think I know what's going on. I'm just too black and too gay for Lucasfilm. That's clearly what's happening. Well, it wasn't too long after that that he got some news that he's actually fired from the project to be replaced by another black guy so Lucasfilm wouldn't get called racist. But he found out in the most hilarious way. This dude who was playing the victim, this dude who hadn't heard anything from Lucasfilm in forever, it kind of shows where the communication level's at Lucasfilm, period, in general. But he found out via social media that he had been fired from this series. Lucasfilm just fired a Disney Star Wars showrunner in a brutal way. And yeah, it was on Instagram that Justin Simeon finds out. Through the Variety article, he puts out, this is me finding out right now. And then he has the audacity to say something else, which, imagine if, I don't know, any white person in the entertainment industry said something like this. Donald is a national treasure. Glad he and Steven get to carry the character forward their way. Can't wait to see. Rooting for everybody black.
Oh my God.
As Donald Glover and his brother replace Justin Simeon. Imagine if I said that, imagine if I said that about YouTube and I was like, hey, you know what? Everyone that's white on YouTube, I wish you the best.
Yeah.
Holy shit, the backlash would be massive.
It's absolutely insane, and this person will continue to play the fake victim, as you can see that's in their mentality. And what a fucking shit show. And this is, again, this is what you get, Lucasfilm. This is what you get. You have pandered to this for so long. This is pathetic behavior. But very consistent with Lucasfilm. And I have no faith. Like, I'm not a fan of Donald Glover. I'm not a fan of his music. I'm not a fan of him as an actor. It's just never been my cup of tea at all. I guess I could have appreciated him in the role of Lando if they wouldn't have ruined Lando. And but it's at a point now where it's like these actors take these roles and they have to kind of implement their own personality into these roles so much. And we've seen that so many times. Well, then I'm going to have to hold you accountable when your character does the things that they've made Lando do and the identity they've given Lando in this series now. And I can't separate it. I'm having a tough time separating reality from the fiction, you know?
I don't think that Donald Glover was the problem with Lando and Solo. I think it's totally the writing. I don't think it felt like he was pretending to be Lando. Like, that's how he came off, which it wasn't the best, but it also wasn't like the most off-putting thing in the world. He did fine. He wasn't the problem. The problem was what they made him become, which was some pansexual degenerate freak who's fucking droids, right? And through that storyline, you now inherently change the Millennium Falcon forever. You know, so now every time any scene we've ever seen the Millennium Falcon, you have to remember that it's actually the brain of the droid that Lando was fucking. And not only that, you turn him into this LGBTQ part of the LGBTQ community for your virtue signaling. And now we get Lando on rainbow gay pride bullshit comic book covers from Lucasfilm every June until the day that it finally dies. They've inherently changed the character of Lando Calrissian. What Donald Glover has in store, I don't know. We should mention that it does look like there is going to be forward motion in this, because Billy D. Williams sent out this tweet yesterday, right? Just a few days after he said, hey, big things might be coming soon. Billy D. Williams tweets this out. I'm thrilled to share that something truly magnificent is coming soon. This is a dream come true for me and all that has sustained and carried me through a lifetime of dreams and adventure, and it's my honor to share with you. Make sure to enable notifications for stories and posts to stay in the loop. You don't want to miss this. May the force be with you all. I think that's absolute confirmation that they're moving forward. Donald Glover and Billy D are going to do something for this Lando series.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, I mean, with Donald Glover, I mean, didn't that song that he was pushing, didn't that come out around the same time as Solo?
Childish Gambino and whatever America.
This is America or something like that. And
Childish Gambino's is
I know. Yeah. I didn't know if didn't he leave the Childish Gambino gimmick behind years ago, or is he still using that as his onstage persona for singing? I thought he had stopped being childish Gambino, but maybe I'm wrong. I never followed him. I don't follow new music that well, but I thought that he wasn't known as that anymore. I thought he was going as Donald Glover. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Chat can correct me.
I don't follow it close enough to know, to be honest with you. I'm not
Are you
sure.
sure? I figured you'd be a big fan of childish Gambino and the goings on with Donald Glover.
No.
But anyway, point being is I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Donald Glover the person. I'm not a fan of. I haven't seen like what else has he been in really outside of Solo as an actor that's prominent.
He isn't. Hold on. I want to say Donald Glover is in the Marvel universe, right?
Is he?
Yeah. Hold on. Give me a second.
So Community, Atlanta.
Yeah, he plays Aaron Davis in Spider-Man: Homecoming. So like they haven't done anything with him in that. Like, it's obviously been a long time since he made any appearances, but they could potentially do something with Donald Glover in the future with Prowler if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'm just not a fan. So I think that this series is going to. I mean, it's not even about this series per se. It's about Lucasfilm as a whole. They're just failing across the board. There's no excitement for this universe, and I think everything is affected by it. For me as a fan, Star Wars fan, everything they're doing is tainted. Everything. Like I can look forward to nothing that they're doing. Nothing matters to me. The Ahsoka series doesn't matter to me. Nothing matters to me. I don't care what they start producing right now. It's all tainted, and I can't look at anything. Like even with like Guardians 3, I was able to watch Guardians 3 and appreciate Guardians 3 in isolation for what it was. So that was separate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's nothing with Lucasfilm, and I know that Lucasfilm is all tied together, like the Star Wars universe. It's one, current timeline. Much like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is for the MCU, not overall Marvel, but I can't find anything to separate everything from everything Lucasfilm has done. I just can't do it.
What the initial kind of message was for this Lando series back in 2020 when Kathleen Kennedy announced it, when they launched Disney Plus, all this bullshit, was that both Donald Glover and Billy D. Williams were going to be attached in some way. I don't really know how you do that. The only thing I could think of is you have Lando basically just in a bar because he can't do anything, right? Billy D's so old, like he can't do anything at this point. So you basically have Lando in a cantina kind of being like, I tell you what, I used to do this. I used to gallivant around the galaxy and blah, blah, blah. And then like you have him telling stories and then see those stories played out by Donald Glover. That's the only way I think you could realistically kind of do something like that. It makes sense, but I don't know who wants to fucking watch that at this point in time. I don't know. Are you going to watch Ahsoka, Jeremy? It comes out at sometime in August, right?
No, I just don't care. Like, I just don't care. I mean, the last thing I watched, and it was mainly the reason I watched Obi-Wan was because the chat requested it, and I watched it, and it was so fucking bad. It was so bad. And I got a lot of good views off of that, but I'm like, I got nothing left for Disney's Lucasfilm, man. I got nothing left. There's nothing left for me to rant about. There's nothing. I have no passion for it whatsoever. I have no faith that it's going to be good. Zero. And I like Rosario Dawson in the role as Ahsoka. I do, but this looks like full on Forces female bullshit, dude. It looks bad.
I mean, like, there's Rebels. So, I mean, it is what it is.
but Rebels.
If you take Rebels and you kill Kanan and Ezra's kidnapped, it's Forces female.
Well, I get it, but it wasn't. But it wasn't for the majority of the show. It wasn't that. Now it is. Yeah. And I don't think Rebels was great. You know this. I don't think Rebels was great. I thought Rebels was fine, but it wasn't great.
Sabine's a trash character and it's kind of a Mary Sue anyway. The character of Hera is fine, but I don't know. I was never a big Rebels person, but this is Dave Filoni's. Dave Filoni's wet dream is an Ahsoka series with every female character he's ever created, like just jerking each other off and scissoring. Yeah,
Rebels was slightly better than average, I guess. You know what I mean? Had a lot of filler in it. A lot more than Clone Wars. Clone Wars had a little bit of filler here and there. Rebels had a shit ton of filler.
The difference is that Clone Wars is filler. Like the series is filler, right? Like the entire purpose of the series is to fill the gap between 2 and 3.
Well,
and you already know
and
these things that are happening.
Yes and
100%.
no.
But there's like so much stuff going on. Like you can do a 2-episode arc on a fucking random planet just based on some clones or whatever, and it makes sense with the story that you're telling.
But it makes sense, but
Rebels
it also
was a new
expanded the universe, though. It did. Like it took you to all. It made the entire.
For some people, it did. Yeah.
It made the whole universe feel bigger. It made you feel more intertwined in that universe. But there were still episodes that felt like they weren't even moving the story that Clone Wars was trying to tell move forward. So those were the filler episodes. It wasn't even moving forward the smaller side of the story that Clone Wars was trying to tell. Whereas Rebels, I feel like, and again, it's probably off base here. I feel like Rebels had almost 50% filler, where most of the episodes did nothing to move the current story of Rebels forward. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, and I guess what I mean is like, because Rebels is this entirely new set of group of characters or whatever that are doing things. So even in episodes that are that are kind of pointless, you're getting just a touch of like character development or whatever. But these are all new fucking characters. Whereas Clone Wars, you have these characters established. It's only a 2.5-year period that they're covering in Clone Wars. All 7 seasons of Clone Wars, right, happens in a 2.5-year period. So it in and of its essence, to me, was always just filler. There's not too much you can really do with these characters between episode 2 and episode 3 that's going to drastically. Now they still tried to do it, which to me I hate about Clone Wars. But
love it.
That's why I think there's a kind of a different perception of those two series in terms of what's filler and what's not.
Yeah, I think Clone Wars, just from the moment that Clone Wars starts, you know, with the narration and the lead in, it makes you feel like there's a lot going on in this galaxy right now. This is a big deal. This thing is moving fast paced, and you just jump into every episode starts out. Whereas Rebels felt like, I don't know, it's like it just didn't feel like it mattered, and it felt like Rebels felt like we were inventing something to make because we need something to make. That's what Rebels felt like. Resistance, I never watched Resistance.
No, thank you. Didn't have any desire. But yeah, I think for like it was all new characters that you were trying to justify their existence, and Kanan's backstory as a Padawan, and then it like causes all these questions about, okay, you got another Jedi survived the Purge. Okay, a Padawan, I could kind of see that. You got someone else who's now force sensitive that he's training, yet they're waving their lightsabers around everywhere during this time frame where the Jedi are supposed to be extinct, and you know, all this shit. So I was not a big fan of Rebels. I was not a big fan of Clone Wars either, to be honest. But I think that overall, the strategy of Clone Wars was, hey, like you're going to have arcs, but it's a very disconnected series in terms of like a season of Clone Wars could just be a bunch of disjointed episodes thrown in. That was like you said, when it starts off every episode, it's kind of like supposed to be like a 20-minute serialized thing that's not really telling a super interconnected story. Where Rebels felt like it was supposed to be a story of progression with these characters, and you don't really know what the end result is going to be.
I agree with that.
Frank Gore for 199. You see Sean Head's video that the Barbie movie's based? I did. I agree with some of the stuff she's saying in it. Again, I think she's picking up on stuff that a lot of other people that are watching this are as well. I don't think it's supposed to be. I reject the notion that it's anti-woke. There's maybe some unironically based moments in it. I could agree with that, but I just don't think it's anti-woke like some people are pushing. Joel Reese for 2. DiCaprio's last couple movies are environmental BS.
I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio in general is a bitch in real life.
He's doing his part to counteract his yachts and private planes.
But yeah, so what is Leo's last couple of movies? Now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was really good.
The Revenant.
Nah, that was a while back. That was like 4 or 5 years ago.
I'm just
right?
naming Leo DiCaprio movies. Recently.
Yeah, you're like the Revenant.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an anti-environmental movie. You should have fucking killed every bear in existence.
Don't Look Up. Oh, was that the Netflix one?
Oh, that is the one where it's like, was that an environmental one or was it?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Was that a climate change thing or an asteroid coming to fucking kill everybody?
But I think it had like some political themes. I don't know specifically what the political themes were, like real world political themes. From what I hear, I didn't see it, so I heard people complaining about it.
I heard his girlfriend just turned 25, so he's going to be looking for a new one soon. Taker for 5. Ryan likes Minority Report because he's always reporting minorities and wanted to be represented on screen. Yes, exactly.
We got breaking news. And before I share this news with everybody, you need to prepare yourself mentally. This is probably going to be really triggering to a lot of people. Very shocking. Okay. But after 15 years, Anita Sarkeesian is shutting down Feminist Frequency. Man, we have comments from someone. This is directly to you, Anita Sarkeesian. So let me just share this right now.
Shut up, silly woman.
I think we all can agree with that from President Donald J. Trump. How do you feel about this, Ryan? Are you sad?
I'm just saying it's sad because I don't think they ever actually fulfilled all the promises that they made based on the funding that they did for all the videos they were supposed to do for Feminist Frequency. I mean, it was like a decade ago, but I don't know if they ever, actually came through on that stuff. So, wow, what an absolute shocker.
Boy,
I mean, this has been a long time coming. So.
Yeah, I definitely want to tweet about this just from Mark Hamill. So I'm gonna get a tweet ready to go as you're reading super chat. So thanks, Mark, for giving me reasons to tweet today. So
Wartooth, either you're looking to open world Dune RPG. No, I remember your super chat about it, but open world Dune RPG. Dune Awakening. You know what? I have heard about that now that I see that. I haven't looked at any trailers or anything for it, but I do remember the name. I remember that the news coming out sometime last year. But maybe I'll look into it more. I like the Dune movie. I don't know what you would do in a Dune RPG other than just fucking wander on the desert. Sophie for 6. Hail. Did you see Stephen Amell getting harassed because he said striking is a bad negotiation tactic? Now people are after him. Shaking my head. I did see it. I really liked Stephen Amell as Green Arrow in those first couple seasons of Arrow on CW. It's a shame the show went so downhill, but I really enjoyed him as Oliver Queen for a while. I did see. It's not surprising to me that he'd say that. I also know that he probably knew he was going to get a lot of shit for it. Mm-hmm. Basically what he said is, listen, I support my union, but I think striking's a fucking stupid idea. And he's right. This is the worst possible time for Hollywood to strike. Get all these people complaining about getting paid. Well, guess what? They're not going to get paid for a long time. And guess who else is not going to get paid for a long time? All the people that aren't writers and actors. All the people that are fucking holding a microphone, the people that are sweeping the floor, the makeup people, like all these people are also now suffering because of these strikes. So I actually think they may have given Hollywood, the studios, exactly what they wanted, a little bit of time to figure out what they're doing going forward and recalibrate their business strategy, maybe cancel some of these really bad deals they have with people. And it's because the writers and actors guilds are so fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it is such a bad time for all of this, as Ryan was just saying. And I hope, again, my hope is that maybe Hollywood can figure out a way to get rid of all the social justice propaganda, and through all of this. That's the only good thing that could come of it. I don't think they're going to do that. But that's what this is the play for him right now. This is the perfect opportunity to do just that. We'll see how it all plays out.
Chris B for 2. You see weirdos mad at Stephen Amell's comments? Yeah, yes, we did. Darian Murphy for 5. Yeah, Donald Glover was complaining that Spider-Man should be black, if I'm remembering correctly. I mean, Donald Glover, like the only thing that he did of note in Homecoming was that he mentioned his nephew, who would be Miles Morales, right? Has not been introduced in the MCU, but he made that mention in Spider-Man Homecoming. So maybe he'll get his wish. Slayer 96 for 2. I released Goody Bud video intro. Sweet. Check out Slayer 96 second for his Goody Bud video. Let's see what else we got. To Doc for $10. Pizza, Mountain Dew, GoldenEye, and The Matrix. Okay, I feel old now. I want pizza and Mountain Dew really bad right now.
Yeah, I heard that.
Let's see. Magnum Norse for 5. Dude, watching Witcher Season 3 is like watching a family member being violated. It was so easy, but then just couldn't do it. Too much ideology. Yeah, it's a disaster. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. The numbers are coming out, and it's miserable for them. I came to laugh at you for 10. Is Billy D's announcement that he's reprising his Colt 45 role to help sell Bud Light? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. But, you know, maybe. I think it obviously has something to do with the Lando series. So, and I think, hold on. Jace Fox, welcome to the channel. And I think we're all caught up.
And I want to give a shout out to the 450 people watching us over on Rumble. Appreciate all of you guys. And don't forget, we got Tuesday night's main event tonight. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be I'll set that up a lot earlier in the day, just so everybody can go into the chat, drop the 199s, have your discussions. I know you guys enjoy just having the back and forth with each other in the chat. And so we'll try to set these links up a little bit earlier for you guys on some of those evening streams, just so you guys can get in there and start talking and memeing and all that good stuff. So it's always fun to see. So I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day. Go subscribe to Geeks and Gamers Clips, where Steph takes our topics throughout the day here, kind of chops it up, edits it together, and uploads individual videos over there. I think we're close to 15,000 subscribers on that channel. So thank you guys for supporting us over there. Good job to Steph. Appreciate everybody. Ryan is going to continue to be the most positive man on the internet, and there's nothing you can do to stop him. It's just how he is. It's who he is, and he will not be defined.
I feel like I haven't been angry enough lately. I feel like I need to get more angry. So
I know we got to figure this out. Yeah,
yep.
I'm sure.
Maybe maybe the time is here. So
we'll see. All right, guys, have a great day, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.